We've all seen the movie The Matrix. It was interesting and fun on the big screen of the TV, but has it become a bit too real in your own life? Are you seeing glitches in the Matrix and trying to figure out what's happening? Have you been told that you've been tricked and that you need to fight against what they've done to you? The deception. Whether you're just beginning to notice, or if you've been searching for a more peaceful and congruent way to live without battling them, you're in the right place. I'm Ken, and I'll be joined by Eliza and Reina Stella. Let's explore together on the Liberty Ark. All right, we are back to the Liberty Ark Podcast. I think we're on number 36, and we're going to be talking about the control structures again, but a little more specifically into three different aspects of it, shall we say. And I'm here with Eliza and Reina Stella. I'm Ken. You guys doing okay this evening?
Doing really good. How are you doing?
Really, really good. Thanks.
Eliza, how you doing?
Here. Doing great.
All good?
Thanks, Reina, Stella, and Ken.
All right. And Eliza's going to do a little bit of reading for us, and then we'll get right into things. So let's see if I can bring that up properly here. There we go.
Episode 36, Mechanisms of Control. Legal, Financial, and Social Constructs. Today, we further describe the control structure, which consists of the legal system, the financial system, and social aspects, promulgated via media and education. Legal constructs involve a complex web of laws, regulations, and procedures that individuals must navigate. These constructs are designed to uphold the authority of the Crown and the bank, ensuring that any challenge to their power is swiftly neutralized. Financial systems regulate currency flow, ensuring resources are controlled and distributed according to the system's parameters, determining who has access to resources and who does not. Social constructs like education and the media utilize psychological methods to get the population to self-reinforce, via peer pressure, the desires of the power structures. In addition, narratives promote division and battles to misdirect the attention of the masses toward conflict with each other instead of perceiving the controlled agenda.
So I'm going to go back to this one, and we can kind of organize this info and talk through it with some practical stuff. So we've got legal and financial systems that I think pretty much everybody is aware of. You understand that you're constantly under some form of stress, whether you even are aware of it or not, over laws and financial system situations. I think it just becomes a part of everybody's life to where they don't necessarily know they're stressing about it, but everything you do, you're what's the right word that I want? Raina, Stella, you look like you have the word.
I'm thinking like walking on it, like we're tippy-toeing, walking on eggshells, afraid of what we're going to step onto next.
Yeah, there's got to be a constant evaluation of, am I doing something that's going to get me in trouble?
Yeah, I call it, we're basically being taught to fall in line, or there may be consequences. Fall in line, and life's cool.
And social aspects promulgated by via media and education is interesting because, like the public education system, for example, took you through a whole bunch of training to go along with this legal system and the financial system, and to make sure you're careful all the time to not go against those rules. And they utilize a whole lot of things like being a good citizen and, to prey upon the goodness of the people. And it all looks very innocent. In my experience, did it seem innocent to you guys when you were going through school?
It seemed like, oh, it was school. It's like what everyone did, but we didn't challenge that it wasn't the truth. We were being told it was the truth, and that was reinforced if we brought anything home. It was almost like counter reinforcement, whatever we brought home, because it was the school system was truth. And I think people are back educating the parents, like re-indoctrinating the parents, because this is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this circular undermining. I remember when I was in kindergarten that everyone called me by it. It was a nickname, right? That was my name. And when we were having to write our names, I was told I could not use that nickname. I had to write my legal name. They didn't call it my legal name. They said, no, you have to write this name because this is your real name. And it's like, that hit me when we started studying all of this some years ago. It's like, my goodness, look at that.
Eliza, what was your nickname? Just kidding.
Oh,
She would do that.
No,
Not
so
happening.
to me, it goes back to it was normal, and we were taught to not question authority or really question any teacher, any adult. So
In my
normal.
experience, it was kind of reestablishing authority also. And I go by just from recollection. I mean, this was way back in the 60s, right? When you guys don't even remember. But evolution was just coming into the schools and being taught as fact, even though they used the word theory, they taught it as if it were fact. And I grew up in a family that did not accept that, right? But it was taught in school as if it were the only thing that was right. So it was the school system, the state school system, was undermining the parents' desires as far as how they wanted to raise their children. And that caused me to get out of the public system and into a private school way back before it was cool. And it caused my sister to raise all her kids way back before it was cool in homeschooling.
I don't know. Can the undermining? I mean, I almost feel like most parents looked for the school to teach their kids.
Yeah, I had weird parents. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But
Yeah.
if you balance it out, I think the majority
Mhm.
of the parents rely
Mm-hmm.
because again, we're indoctrinated that school education where we put our children, while we go out at, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day working, that the school's going to take care of it for us.
I was in that transitional
We rely on
time.
it.
Yeah, I was in that transitional time in the 60s where things were moving from the ability for a husband and wife to have one person work and still be able to manage the finances and so forth of a home. And, we did dinner together as a family at 6:00 every evening and that kind of thing. And that all got damaged along the way. And the school system was a large part of that in my experience. Even with now, what I observe with patients is that the kids are all expected to be involved in all kinds of sports and so forth. And the parents have no time for anything to pass any time with the kids. The only time they're passing with the kids is running them from one activity to another and all stressed out when they're doing it, but they think it's their responsibility to do all that as well as both of them to work full time. And so they're just running like crazy. I mean, it is just nowhere close to what things were like when I grew up.
And again, growing up, and it still is for most families, most parents, because of being on that hamster wheel. they don't have time to challenge. I think they take, no, whether it's public or private, they are accepting as truth whatever the children are being taught. Social studies, history, you name it.
Yep.
Even mathematics is getting challenged. But that must be the truth, or the system wouldn't teach it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for like my situation, and this is 92, like 94. Yeah, 94. We started building our family. With our busy schedules, we would involve our kids in activities, but we also relied on the school to educate our kids, thinking that was the right thing to do. And again, I think the majority of the population falls in that category. We are, to both of us, the father, the mother, we are to go to work to make sure we have plenty of food to eat for our family. And yes, still make time to get them involved. And in my mindset was more so building them to be disciplined and so forth. So even though it was crazy and both of us worked 12 to 16-hour days, I think it was, to me, it was very important for them to be involved in sports or extra activities, just for them to stay out of trouble and utilize sports as discipline. It teaches you a lot, at least my opinion. But yeah, the school part, I really felt that it was public, that they would do the right thing for our kids.
And I think it was a shocking experience for a lot of patients in the, how do I say this, the activities that occurred in the 2020, where everybody had to stay home and not go to school. And the parents were forced to see what was actually being taught. And their expectations were kind of shattered, or very highly surprised at what they experienced, because apparently a lot of stuff was going on that parents weren't aware of. And I think that shocked a lot of people into recognition that what they had perceived to be happening at school was not what was actually happening at school.
So 2020 was the year that opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah. And that was a really good thing. I think it did not appear to be good at the time, but I think it was a very important awakening process.
I think it was an unintended consequence of what was wanted by having people isolated and stay home.
Yep.
Stories, like very dark stories during that time, but it did help wake us up. So,
yeah. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. So we're talking about three primary different systems. Two are really the systems, and the other is kind of the enforcement mechanism. It's indirectly utilized as enforcement of these two.
Yeah.
So legal constructs involve a complex web of laws, regulations, procedures that individuals must navigate. Now, I think most people don't even realize that's going on, because they just have procedures that they have to go through, monthly things they have to do, bills that come in the mail that they got to pay, and so forth. And they don't really realize that they're just running a program that they've been trained to do. And as a good citizen, this is what you do. So there's no questioning of anything.
And again, we see the word crown here, and that's basically the controllers, those who have put the system in place in order to basically gain from the people.
You end up being a bad person if you do challenge, right? If you do question.
Sure.
Bottom line. It's funny.
And then the financial systems are part of that too. And I think everybody's aware of, your whole life is geared around, or most normal humans that I know, whether they have a reasonable amount of money, whether they don't, their whole lives are pretty much
Right.
Their decisions are made based upon what they can afford.
And how, we have discussed, privately and then some on this podcast that when it says here that the system determines who has access to resources and who does not, most people don't realize that's going on. The system creates resources where it wants to give and tightens the expectations basically by extracting more taxes, raising food prices, etc., to take away from those they would like to, not reward or further control. And it's very purposeful, even though it seems subtle.
And I think a lot of people don't recognize this. It works the other way too, and I think even more so the other way, in that they give rewards for the purpose of making people dependent on the rewards so that they can gain more control.
Yes. It is a subtle, vicious cycle. It's exactly. I agree.
So would you say for every benefit received, we're giving away a right, or we're giving away, yeah.
There's a price to every benefit
There's a price.
or privilege that we accept.
Yeah,
So
and everybody,
there's a price for that carrot, right?
Everybody knows that cheese the mouse is going to grab has a cost associated with it. But when it's happening to us, we don't tend to recognize it. We just think, oh, it's free stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's the pot slowly boiling, right?
Yeah, government.
And that's why being awake, we can opt to bit by bit, maybe not all at once, jump out of the pot.
Yeah. So anytime you're tempted to think, boy, the government sure is nice to me giving me that, take a moment and reconsider what the cost actually is in your own liberty and freedom. So this one is designed totally for the social and the media aspects, which are so incredibly useful to the system, and they utilize psychological methods throughout it, and hypnotic trances and peer pressure and all kinds of things to reinforce, so that people are so busy battling with each other that they don't recognize what's happening to them, because they don't see that there's a force out there that's creating things. They just see from the inside the experience they're having without an understanding of the currents that are causing that to occur purposefully. So social contracts or constructs like education, we talked a little bit about schools and how that works, and the media, which, man, social media on the internet is fabulous for this. And now that they've got bots that they can program for anything, I mean, it's even more controllable. Most of what
we're seeing are bots, and it's like hard to wrap your head around.
Mm-hmm. And now you've got AI along with the bots, the AI controlling the bots, so you have no idea what's real.
Right.
But yet people get locked up in a pattern of posts and stuff on the internet, and peer pressure comes in, right? Just as if these were real people. You're seeing all this stuff, and your whole world is interpreted based on what you're seeing there.
Right. And directing people to opposite sides keeps people busy, right? It keeps people busy instead of, this last sentence, instead of perceiving the controlling agenda, right? Keeping people divided is a very important part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the old days
and divided.
Yeah, I miss the old days of at least when I was in high school, we were taught how to debate and talk to each other, and it was okay that we had differences. There was no need to, I guess there was a reason to be united because we were discussing the issues to come up with a solution. That has completely been lost. And as you're at the market or at the mall or on the streets anywhere, you can actually visually see how every single person is walking full of emotions that just by a look, maybe even a smile, maybe even just turning, they can react, taking it in a negative way. So we all have to be walking so carefully now just because of the specific slide here is how intentional they've they have in a way provoked us to be against each other always for disagreement. So we've lost the debate. We're constantly full of emotions, and it's really hurting, overall. That human connection, that human touch is gone. And that's really sad. So it's up to us to maintain it within our community, within our family, within our households, because out there, it's a very scary place.
Yeah, I mean, growth really comes from viewing things from different perspectives in order to find what somebody else may know that you don't. But what I see, if you just turn on the television, which I haven't had for years, but at least I see bits and pieces of television programs on the internet sometimes. And what I see is that one of two things are happening usually. Either people are just reaffirming each other's belief systems, or they're totally at odds with each other, and you're absolutely wrong because you don't think what I think. Right? It's one extreme or the other, and like you said, Raina Stella, the old debate where, hey, look, we disagree with each other, but hear what I'm saying about mine. Consider it. You don't have to take my opinion. Just consider it and make your own decisions. And I'm going to listen to you. Consider it. I may throw it all out. I may completely change my mind, right? But if you can't listen to the other side and without getting all emotional, consider it, you have no way to grow. It's impossible. You're stuck where you're at. And that's what I see so frequently.
If you don't agree with me, you're my enemy.
Yes.
And it's like, where'd that come from? But it's been a slow drip, and this is where we're at right now. But we have the opportunity to move forward and share how we want to live with each other. And that's on us and everyone who is looking to, say, awaken to what is being done. Go out and hold the hand of the next person and help them where they are at.
And recognize there are many different ways of looking at things. And we have some ways of looking at things, and we don't think we're right, which would mean you're wrong. It's just there's many different ways to approach this. And with White Rabbit, which is a group that we work with that you can find out more about at libertyarkpodcast.com/whiterabbit, we interact with and understand and learn about these systems and how they're controlling us or attempting to control us, and how we can gain better awareness and not get angry and not battle the system, but yet not be controlled by the system at the same time. So a happy medium as opposed to either extreme. And you are
Being
welcome
awake,
to find
yeah.
more about it.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Yes, say again, but being awake or aware is not needing to agree. Okay, it's just awareness of what might be going on so that you can form your own opinion. And I like that at Liberty Ark Podcast .com / White Rabbit.
Yeah, and I think on top of forming our own opinion, I think it's really more awareness to make better choices and improve where we're headed.
And the awareness is what allows that. Most people are not even aware of what's happening to them, so they're not making choices purposefully. They are making choices, but they're not evaluating both sides to be able to make a choice with a full understanding. Does that make sense? So it's kind of a choice, but it's a fake choice. Okay, Raina, Stella, you send us off here.
There you go.
I just want to say, in regards to the peer pressure, you mentioned television, and though a lot of people have pulled away from it, a lot of people still see it. I think it has accelerated with all the social media available at our fingertips. So I think that awareness that we need to have will assist us in making sure that as we're going through our social media, that we understand that not everything, or at least the majority of the things that we are running into is not the truth. And that is up to us to be able to dissect that. And it is very difficult, like you guys said, with all the technology out there now. But that is why it's so important that we utilize that word and take it serious, the awareness word. We need to start paying attention and making better choices by making sure that we're dissecting what we're listening to, seeing, and understanding that there is intention behind every single post we see. Again, it's up to us to really define it. But the last thing that you want to do is take it and run with it.
I'm hoping this will be interesting to watch and see. I'm hoping that the same thing will happen on social media that happened in 2020 when the things went over the top so much that people began to be able to see what they couldn't see before. So much of everything on social media is pure fakery. And I'm hoping that now with the AI stuff and where everybody's becoming aware of how fake it all is, that will flip the script and make people more questioning about things because everything is so fake. We'll see.
I'm with you. Let's hope that takes place, because 2020 was definitely a year that we need to have it repeat in regards to waking up a lot more people up. So yes, I'm with you. Let's hope for that for sure.
Yeah. Because I think what they're trying to do, instead of locking people down in their homes, they're trying to lock down behavior. They're locking down the compliance. So there is a point where people will pray, we pray that they'll say enough and they'll filter through themselves what's happening. So I totally agree with what you were both saying to wrap up.
There may be hope. We'll see.
Yes.
There is.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Right.
We'll call our quits for this evening.
Yeah. Much love.
Thank you,
See
guys.
soon.
Bye-bye.
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 The views expressed in this Liberty Ark podcast are for informational and educational purposes only. They do not constitute legal or tax advice, and they may not reflect the official positions of anyone at all, really. We want to express our appreciation to the authors of the unpublished manuscript titled The Great International Heist, on which the Liberty Ark podcast is based. Rebecca and Jonathan Rodrigues, the authors, provide courses that go into much greater depth and are available at libertyarkpodcast.com/White Rabbit.